Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. You've tried the savings calculators. You've followed the hustle culture. You've begged for a raise, skipped meals, clipped coupons. But have you ever tried putting your Qur'an right here? Visual, close-up of an empty wallet. A mother silently stares at the ceiling. Her child reaches into an empty fridge. Then, slow motion, hands gently placing the Qur'an on the table. Light beams through the window. Across the world, people are unlocking Rizq, not with luck, but with a divine shift, a spiritual formula, one that starts with something you already own, but may not yet use. Watch until the end if you want to understand why some people leave poverty behind forever with just one shift. Have you ever witnessed a transformation because of a connection to the Qur'an? Share it in the comments. Your story might change someone's life. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publication on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Step 2. Quranic principle. There is a truth many never learn. Rizq is not merely the result of hustle. It is the decree of the one who sustains the heavens and the earth. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and will provide for him from where he does not expect. Surah Al-Talaq 65:2-3. Your sustenance is not locked in a job offer. It's not hidden in your boss's mood or the price of gold. It's written, protected, flowing, but only to those who walk the path of taqwa, God consciousness. When you live with tawakkul, true reliance on Allah, the rules of the material world don't break, they bend. Because you've connected yourself to the one who created the rules. Visual. A poor man in a village reading Qur'an under a tree. A mother breaking down in prayer before Fajr. A young man turning down haram income, then smiling in relief a week later. The Qur'an doesn't just talk about wealth, it guides wealth. It doesn't just teach patience in poverty. It offers spiritual tools to unlock barakah, provision, and unimaginable openings. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain, which grows 7 spikes. In each spike is 100 grains. Surah Al-Baqarah, Tool 261. Sadaqah, as described in the Qur'an, isn't a subtraction, it's a multiplication. Giving opens the gates of provision, often from the unseen. Time and again, those who give from little are given in abundance. Real-world context, 2025. Today, nearly 700 million people still live under the poverty line. Many are in conflict zones and under-resourced regions like Yemen, rural Indonesia, Pakistan's tribal areas, and Sudan. Yet in these places, the Qur'an isn't shelved, it's lived. Families with almost nothing recite Surah Al-Waqi'ah nightly. Merchants start their day with Surah Al-Mulk. Farmers give away their first crops in Sadaqah, before selling the rest. Despite their lack of material wealth, their faith-based financial resilience is growing. New micro-businesses, barter systems, and donation economies rooted in Quranic values are taking root. They are not just surviving, they are thriving in spirit, in community, and eventually in sustenance. If you've ever doubted that the Qur'an can impact your wallet, stay. Because the next story might just shatter that doubt section. Step 3, real story. Modern day number 1, dusty streets of Kano, Nigeria. A small stall covered with palm leaves. 3 children sitting beside a woman arranging herbs in baskets. This is Amina, a mother, a widow, a fighter. 2 years ago, her life was held together by one thread: survival. She sold herbs in the street market, not by choice, but because it was the only thing she knew. Some days, she made the equivalent of just 80 cents. Other days, nothing at all. Footage: Amina counting coins by candlelight, her children asleep on a mat, her eyes tired but alive. She used to say, "I did not dream anymore, only counted how many onions I could buy." Then one Friday afternoon, in a dusty masjid on the edge of town, an elderly sheikh gave a khutbah that changed her life. Recite Surah Al-Waqi'ah every night, and you will never face poverty. Amina didn't have much, but she had faith. That night, with the Qur'an her husband left behind, she opened to Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Slowly, shakily, she read. Every night, without fail, even when her children cried from hunger, even when she had no light and had to read by moonlight. Within weeks, something shifted. One of my regular customers gave me a new basket. Then another gifted me a cart, said I had a good heart and Allah would bless me. With that cart, Amina moved to a busier intersection. She added fresh teas, began praying tahajjud, reciting Surah Al-Mulk before bed. She didn't understand everything, but she believed. The Qur'an was like a friend that kept whispering, "Don't stop." Business grew. People came not just for her herbs, but for her dua. Some said her stall had barakah, her products lasted longer, healed faster. One customer came back and asked to invest in her. Another helped her build a wooden shed. Today, in 2024, Amina owns a registered micro-business. She employs 4 other widows, all of whom now recite Surah Al-Waqi'ah every night together. They call it their Barakah circle. Footage: women laughing, grinding herbs, reading Qur'an together before opening their stall. Indeed, this Qur'an guides to that which is most upright. Surah Al-Isra 17:9. Amina didn't find a loan. She didn't find a lottery. She found a verse, and that verse rewrote her destiny. Type MashaAllah if this story inspired you, and tag someone who needs hope today. You never know whose Rizq might awaken because of a single ayah. Step 4. Spiritual framework, how it works. How does a simple surah change a person's income? Amina didn't just recite words, she stepped into a spiritual system built by Allah Himself. Surah Al-Waqi'ah, often called the Surah of Wealth, has been passed from generation to generation with a legacy of provision and protection. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Whoever recites Surah Al-Waqi'ah every night will never be afflicted by poverty." Reported by Ibn Asakir and others, Hassan by chain. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual law. Surah Al-Waqi'ah speaks about the stages of life, the certainty of death, and the separation of people into groups. Those of the right hand, the successful, the left hand, the deniers, and the foremost, the most righteous. It resets your mindset. It reminds your soul where true provision comes from. Not from creation, but from the Creator. Energetic alignment. When your day begins with dhikr, your tongue purified by Qur'an, and your heart softened by sujood, you begin operating on divine frequency. You see opportunity where others see failure. You give when others are hoarding. You remain patient while others panic. This is where the real richness begins, not just in your bank balance, but in your soul. The Prophet said, "Richness is not having many possessions, but true richness is the richness of the soul." Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. But don't be mistaken. Spiritual richness often spills into material ease. Why? Because your values shift, your actions align, and your trust flows upward, not outward. The Quranic formula for Rizq. It's not complex. It's powerful. Charity. Even a coin given in secret can break open doors. Gratitude. Allah promises, if you're grateful, I will surely increase you. 14.7. Recitation. Regular Qur'an connects your soul with divine direction. Which surah or ayah gives you comfort during tough financial times? Share it in the comments. Someone might read it today and find hope they didn't have yesterday. Step 5. Real story. Modern day number 2. A narrow alleyway in Jakarta. Rain tapping on a tin roof. A cramped room where 4 people sleep on one mat. A phone alarm rings in the dark. This is Rizq. He's 24. He delivers food on a motorbike across Jakarta. He lives with his parents and 2 younger siblings in one room. No privacy, no quiet, no rest. For 2 years, Rizq worked 16-hour days. Morning traffic, afternoon heat, late-night deliveries. All for a few dollars a day. He was tired, bitter, hopeless. One Friday, while sitting outside a masjid to catch his breath, he heard a khutbah. The imam's words cut through the noise of his routine. Before you open your work app, open your Qur'an. Those words haunted him. He didn't even pray on time, let alone read the Qur'an. But that night, something inside cracked. At 4 a.m. the next morning, Rizq did something he hadn't done in years. He woke up before Fajr, made wudu, prayed, then opened his phone not to his delivery app, but to Surah Al-Fajr. Footage. Rizq sitting on the floor with a cracked phone, reading slowly. His family still sleeping. His face glowing in the blue screen light. I didn't know what I was doing, he later said. But I knew I needed to do something different. He began a routine. Tahajjud, Qur'an, then work. Every single day. Weeks later, he started a YouTube channel called Driva Qur'an. He recorded simple reflections. I read this ayah today, and it made me cry. His videos weren't polished, but they were raw, honest, and full of nur. Within months, his videos reached Islamic youth circles. One of his subscribers, a digital media professor, offered him a full scholarship to study content creation. Rizq now balances delivery work and his studies. But more than that, he mentors youth in low-income neighborhoods on how to use the Qur'an to guide their career and identity. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Al-Isra 94:6. Rizq didn't win a lottery. He didn't get a big break. He simply put the Qur'an first, and Allah made everything else follow. Visual, Rizq leading a circle of boys, reading Qur'an at dawn on motorbikes parked nearby. Now, every video he posts starts the same way. Put your Qur'an before your grind and watch your Rizq follow your recitation. Would you be willing to wake up 15 minutes earlier just to try this formula? If yes, comment yes for Barakah. Let's start a wave of early risers who choose the Qur'an first. Step 6. How to put your Qur'an here. So now you've heard the stories. You've seen how the Qur'an transformed Amina in Nigeria, Rizq in Indonesia. But here's the real question. How can it transform you? This isn't magic. It's method. And the method begins with one simple shift. put your Qur'an here. But where is here? It's wherever your wealth lives, your decisions live, your dreams live. A framework to unlock Rizq through the Qur'an. 1. Place the Qur'an where your money lives. Whether it's your cash drawer, your online banking screen, your shop counter, or your phone case, let the Qur'an be physically present. This is not just symbolic, it's spiritual conditioning. When your eyes land on the Qur'an before your transaction, your heart remembers who owns all provision. 2. Commit to daily recitation of 3 surahs. Surah Al-Waqi'ah, known as the Surah of Rizq. Read it every night before sleep. The Prophet assured, whoever recites Surah Al-Waqi'ah every night will never face poverty. Surah Al-Mulk for protection, physical, spiritual, and financial. This surah guards the reciter from the punishment of the grave and sharpens moral clarity in business and life. Surah Al-Fajr, the surah of divine timing and spiritual awakening. Read it at dawn to start your day with purpose. The verses remind us of Allah's control over empires, markets, and legacies. 3. Give sadaqah weekly, no matter how small. Don't wait until you have more. Start with a coin, a bite of food, a shared skill. Barakah doesn't wait for volume. It responds to sincerity. The Qur'an says, whatever you spend in the way of Allah, it will be repaid to you in full. 2:272. 4. Infuse your business or work with Quranic ethics. Start your shift with dua. Keep dhikr on your tongue while driving, serving, coding, or cleaning. Choose halal over easy money. Say Bismillah before every transaction. When you bring the Qur'an into your work becomes worship. And Rizq is no longer limited to numbers, but filled with blessing. 5. Teach the Qur'an to others. The best among you are those who learn the Qur'an and teach it. Prophet Muhammad. Whether you teach your child one ayah, record a video reflection, or sponsor a Qur'an class, when you give Qur'an, Rizq comes looking for you. Rizq multiplies when the Qur'an circulates. What does it mean to put your Qur'an here? It means putting it at the center of your financial life. Not after bills, not when you're in crisis, not just on Fridays, but first. Visual montage. A woman opening her store with Surah Al-Waqi'ah on her lips. A man placing a Qur'an near his laptop. A child putting coins in a sadaqah jar next to the Mushaf. Farmers harvesting while listening to Qur'an. Which of these habits will you start this week? Comment below so we can encourage one another. Even one step brings you closer to Barakah. Step 7. Final directive message plus call to action. You've seen the Qur'an change lives in Kano, in Jakarta, in rooms barely lit and homes overflowing with faith. You've seen mothers rise, workers transform, youth find vision, not with cash, but with Qur'an. Visuals rewind. Amina smiling beside her cart. Rizqi filming a Qur'an vlog, children reading in the market. Qur'an pages flipping in slow motion. So now we ask you, not with judgment, but with love. Where will you put your Qur'an? Will it sit on the highest shelf untouched? Or will it live in your hand, in your wallet, in your prayers, in your plans? Because this isn't magic. This is Barakah. Barakah doesn't always make you rich in numbers. It makes your little feel like enough, and your enough grow into abundance. How do you put the Qur'an at the center of your life? Do you read it with your kids before school? Do you listen while you drive to work? Do you place it near your cash register? Your story could inspire someone who's about to give up. Share it. Tag a friend who needs to hear this. Let's build a community where Qur'an meets provision, where faith fuels freedom. The more you engage with the Qur'an, the more it engages with your destiny. Final supplication. Dua. Ya Allah, open the doors of Rizq for every eye watching this right now. Replace their fear with faith, remove their debts, protect them from haram income, and let the Qur'an be their light, their map, their daily companion, until poverty leaves not just their bank account, but their heart. Ameen. Visual. Qur'an glowing softly as the camera zooms out. Faint echoes of Ameen in multiple voices fade to black. Your comment could inspire someone. Just one word, one ayah, one action, go.